Hello everyone and welcome to the GPVWC ITC from Portland. I'm your commentator, Joshua Jones. I will also be your cameraman. And we have a very interesting round today. And it's interesting because neither of the race winners from last time out at Adelaide have actually turned up. And one of those, of course, is Tobias Olsen, who wasn't actually doing the full season anyway. He was just standing in for Stefan McCready. The other driver, however, is the championship leader Rudy van Buren. Now, Van Buren, of course, is at the World's Fastest Gamer competition at McLaren in Great Britain, and we all wish him luck in that. But that does mean that he can't really be here to extend his points advantage. So this is Matt Richards' chance to catch up. But if Matt Richards doesn't score a certain number of points today, Rudy van Buren could still claim the championship without even being here. So Rudy van Buren at the moment is on 343 points. Matt Richards is on 221, and to keep the championship alive, Matt Richards needs to get his total to 268 points. So Matt Richards needs to score 47 points in this particular race weekend to keep the championship alive, and that's quite difficult, to be honest. Now, 2 wins would do it, even if he didn't score in race 3. But Matt Richards has only won 1 race so far this season, so well, it'll be difficult to keep the championship alive, and he will certainly need some good results here. Probably a win, but, well, who knows. So, we're about to show you the grid formation for this first race. We've got Adam Taylor on pole, followed by Lewis McGlade, Stein Fidder, Matt Richards, Adam Hodgkinson, Fabian Ruede, Chris Shepherd, Matt Clipp, Philip Morby, Christopher Raby, standing in for Rudy van Buren, Mark Wicks, Stefan McCready, Ben Horrell, Ben Willis, Jeffrey Fournier, Rob Mason, Joshua Jones, and Matthew Allington. So that rounds out the field. A great qualifying performance, I must say, from Stein Fidder and from Fabian Ruede, who both normally qualify much lower than they are now. Joshua Jones would have been right with them. He would have started 7th, but for a back of the grid penalty. But anyway, to the grid we come. Rudy van Buren, of course, not here, and Matt Richards starting in 4th position. Let's see what Richards will be able to do today. Will he be able to capitalise on his rival not being here? He needs 47 points over the 3 races that we're going to get today. So, when the cars line up, we'll see those lights go on, and then when they go off, we'll get underway. Into the final position on the grid comes Matt Allington. Now, watch for the lights. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... and it's go! A bit of a long hold, but we're underway here at Portland. And it's a good start for Adam Taylor, who's going to blast into the lead. Down to turn 1. McGlade's going to try and get it in slipstream, and he's popping to the outside. This is a chicane, so will he be able to hold on? Not there. Fidder goes very wide. But it's Adam Taylor who leads out of turn 2, followed by McGlade and Matt Richards, who's moved up to 3rd. Oh, spin in the background is that Rob Mason or Mark Wicks? It's one of the 2. Matt Allington looks as if he's slowed to let him back through again. So Allington believes that it's his fault. As we head through the backside of the circuit, this is the end of sector 1 here. And here you see the top 3. It's Taylor, McGlade, and Richards, and then we have a bit of a gap back to 4th place, who is currently, is that Shepherd or Fournier? It's one of the 2 purple BMWs of either Chris Shepherd or Jeffrey Fournier. Now, as we head down to the final chicane for the very first time, this is a very fast section of the track. Big kick of oversteer from Lewis McGlade, but he just manages to hold it. He might drop back slightly into the clutches of Matt Richards as we head down this straight here. Let's see how close. Oh, Richards can get us. Off goes Joshua Jones in the background. Joshua Jones, we just saw getting very sideways, and it looks as if he's lost that position. So here we see a replay of the start then. Watch for, oh, there's Matt Allington just kind of squeezing himself down the middle of Mason, and there you see it from on board Rob Mason. There was nothing he could have done about that, I'm afraid. Here is Matt Allington's view, yeah, I can see why Allington thinks he's to blame. To be honest, he probably didn't have much chance either. As you see, what happened to Joshua Jones was just a slight over-rotation on the first of the two corners in that first chicane. Very lucky not to take out Matt Allington as well. That would have been embarrassing. Anyway, on to lap 2. Watch Fabian Ruder coming under attack from Philip Morby. Morby's going to get the switch back. There's contact! Over the top goes Fabian Ruder upside down. Morby gets turned around in the mid-pack. Oh, he gets collected by Matt Allington. That's very... And now he's... Oh, actually, that was quite bad there from Philip Morby getting going again right into the path of Joshua Jones, recovering from the spin. Here's it from on board Fabian Ruder. Just kind of... They just come together mid-corner, really. I can't really see... entirely whose fault that was. It wasn't that clear. Morby gets the switch back, then turns into the corner, possibly turns in a bit too aggressively. He needed to give room to Ruder on the inside. Allington had nowhere to go, and that's the point that I think Morby could well get a penalty for. The bit where he got going again right into the path of Joshua Jones, who was coming through. Good avoidance there from... That'll be... I'm not sure who that is, actually. But you can see whoever it was having a very lucky escape. I think it was Christopher Raby, actually. So... oh, no, that would have been Matt Clipp. And Adam Hodgkinson got caught up in it, too. So did Christopher Raby. Here we see it from Matt Allington. Whoa! Philip Morby just came out of nowhere there. There was nowhere where Matt Allington could have gone. Here's the recovering Joshua Jones. Now he sees his teammate upside down, tries to slot through the gap, but Philip Morby's coming across. Of course, Morby couldn't really see that Jones was there because he probably would have thought that the traffic had all gone through after that gap. What he didn't account for was that Jones had spun on lap 1 and therefore was behind the field by quite a way. And he was coming through then, and they just made contact. So unfortunate for Jones, unfortunate for Ruder, and unfortunate for Morby, and Matt Allington too. Just everyone involved. We never like to see accidents like that, but they happen sometimes. Races are very rarely 100% clean, to the extent of almost never being 100% clean. Now through the final corner comes Ben Willis. Oh, actually dips over the grass a bit. He might come under attack from Mark Wicks now. Actually, I think Mark Wicks has given way to Rob Mason. So through comes the number 11 car, whichever one of the two Kernos that is. To the inside he goes and through. And I believe that was Rob Mason. Oh no, that's Rob Mason there going over upside down. Oh no, that's Mark Wicks rather. So Wicks just clips the curb slightly there on the inside, and unfortunately when you see the car going over like that, there's absolutely no saving it, and it just slides along on its roof. Here we see it on board with Matt Allington. That was Allington's actually caught that group quite well there. Anyway, here onto the back straight again come the top 3, still a little way ahead of 4th and 5th, although I think Shepherd's closed in slightly. I'm pretty sure that's Chris Shepherd and not Jeffrey Fournier. So, of course, I don't have a live timing option here because it's not live. But I think that's Chris Shepherd in 4th place. So it's Taylor, McGlade, Richards, Shepherd, and then Fidder. Stein Fidder still running in 5th position, fantastically. So. As we head down towards the first chicane, this is a very good place for overtaking. Often very easy to just dive bomb your opponents and cause some kind of accident though, but luckily it looks like the cars are a bit spread out this time through, so no such instance this time through. There's one of the closest battles on the track now. It's Rob Mason versus Ben Willis. Matt Allington not far behind them. And here comes... is this Joshua Jones? Yeah, this is Joshua Jones after his spin. There is Mark Wicks after his roll. And Fabian Ruder will be bringing up the field now. I wonder if he's got slight damage actually after that incident. Morby to the same extent. I don't know. But anyway, down the back straight we go again. Little bit of slipstreaming available here, really, because the next corners are so fast and there's not really a braking zone. You can't pass anyone there. I've also noticed that Ben Horrell has his headlights on. Now, because it's not raining, then he shouldn't technically have his lights on. That's Steinfidder! Steinfidder, who's running in 5th position, goes into the wall. Oh, gets clipped by Geoffrey Fournier, actually. That could have been a lot worse. But Fidder is now down into 6th position. It looked as if he just had a big switch of oversteer and then couldn't stop it. In fact, looking at the replay there, it looked like he just clipped the white line on the exit of the circuit. Oh, that was a big impact there. I hope he hasn't got too much suspension damage. And also for Geoffrey Fournier as well. If Fournier picked up some damage from that, that would be highly unfortunate for him. Because Fournier, of course, completely the innocent party there. And in fact, Fidder's going to get overtaken by Adam Hodgkinson down the straight. So that was for 6th position. So Hodgkinson up to 6th now. Fidder down to 7th. In one foul mistake, I'm afraid. So unfortunately for Steinfidder, in a race that started off so well, he's dropping through the order. Hopefully for him, that'll be where he sticks. But we'll see. 2nd place is really closed up now, as Matt Richards senses. Oh, goes wide and runs over the grass. That's going to cost him some momentum down the back straight. I was just about to say he senses the opportunity to score some points now that Rudy Van Buren is not here, and possibly getting a bit eager there. As he finishes here in 3rd place, he would score 16 points towards the 47 that he needs. So if he was to score 16 points in all 3 races, he would actually score 48 points, and well, keep the championship alive until Sao Paulo. Of course, that would be scoring 3rd place in all 3 races, but Richards will want more than that. After all, there's no real point keeping the championship alive if you're not going to win it in the end anyway. So you need to just extend that points tally. And as Ben Horrell clips the back of Rob Mason's car and loses his front bumper. The Ford has a very flimsy front bumper we've seen so far this season, I'm afraid. Here we see a replay of that. Yeah, look at how small the contact is. It wasn't really a big collision at all. It was just really Ben Horrell shoving the back of Rob Mason's car ahead of him, and the front bumper came off. Now, in reality, that would be an advantage, because you don't want the front bumper hanging off and giving you a black and orange pit now flag for mechanical hazards. So the bumpers in reality are designed to basically just fall off whenever they're touched. But as we see, who's this? This will be Joshua Jones. Oh, runs wide and goes into the wall, spins it round, but will he get it going again? It looks just. He just misjudged his braking zone, didn't he? Just left it slightly too late. Very nearly avoided the wall, but just tagged it. And he's had to wait here. Yes, he does, for Mark Wicks to go through. Wicks recovering from his roll earlier. And it looked like he stalled the engine after that. But yeah, he's got going again, so that's good. This is Philip Morby, who is now a lap down. So He's not fighting with that car that he's near. He's a lap down now after his incident at the start. I believe he's been through the pit lane a couple of times, and I also believe that Fabian Rude is out of the race, I'm afraid. So we're having a few incidents and accidents so far this race. As I was explaining just now, in reality the front bumper is designed to hang off, so to stop the mechanical infringement flag forcing you to pit. But of course, in simulator racing, you don't need that, because it's either on or it's off, and if it's off, you lose a bit of downforce. Not a huge amount of downforce, but a bit nonetheless. Anyway, here we see Matt Allington coming under attack from Stefan McCready. This will be right at the back of the top 15, possibly for 15th or 16th position, I'd say, near the back of the points, or at the back of the points. It'll be for 13th place, so slightly higher up than I said, but it's around that area. Will McCready get in the get a good slipstream this time around? As I said earlier, very difficult to overtake down into these final 3 corners of the track because they're just so fast. But you can still get a good slipstream down that part of the circuit, and that can drag you onto the back of the car ahead, so that you can get a good run out of this final corner and possibly get past them into the first chicane. There you see Fabian Ruder's car parked in the garage, so I'm afraid Fabian is indeed out of this race. There you see him. So disappointment for Fabian Ruder in the Rowan GP car. Rowan, of course, haven't scored that many points this season yet, so they're in need of some points sooner or later. And with one driver having an incident with Philip Morby and rolling over, and another driver having a different incident with Philip Morby after a spin, followed by another spin. Yes, not going well so far for Rowan GP. Anyway, up the front of the order, I believe the gap for second and third has come out a little bit since last time I looked, but Matt Richards obviously hasn't given up yet. You can tell by the body language of his car. He's trying to analyse Lewis McGlade's every move and just wait for a mistake, really, and wait for it. He continues to do. Here is that Geoffrey Fournier? Actually, I believe that I've been saying the wrong name, and it is Geoffrey Fournier in 4th. Oh, here we see Matt Clip and Stein Fidder side by side for 7th. Clip to the inside, and Clip is going to get past Stein Fidder there. So Fidder down to 8th now, and 1 position ahead of the Rudy Van Buren stand-in, Christoph Raby. So let's see what Raby can do. Currently running in 9th position, has some very big boots to fill, of course. He'll just be hoping to bring home some points for the Vodbull team. Vodbull getting very close to wrapping up the Constructors' Championship, as through the right-hand kink at the back end of the circuit they go. Very, very rewarding when you get it right, that is. And if you get it wrong, you can put 2 wheels on the grass and really cost yourself some momentum going down this back straight. And before you know it, you've got a car alongside you. This bunch now spread out enough for that to possibly they possibly have a bit of a safety buffer in terms of a mistake, but have to be careful still. Have to be careful, because a big enough mistake can always cost you. Sometimes it's just a collection of small mistakes that cost you a position, and I believe that's what we've been seeing from Stein Fidder so far this race. He's been very, very quick when he's going well, but he just needs to work on getting the consistency there. Here is Joshua Jones. Well, it must be, because Fabian Ruder's out of the race now. Jones not quite running at the back of the order. Philip Morby still behind him after a pit stop due to the first incident. Morby, in fact, a lap down. And of course then you've got Fabian Ruder out of the race. Here is the front of the order again, and it is Fournier. Is it? Yeah, it's Geoffrey Fournier in 4th position. So it's Fournier followed by Shepherd, not the other way around, as I hinted earlier on. So I apologise for that. Often it's very hard to tell who's who if you don't have a timing screen, and you weren't watching that particular section of the field in the actual race. Now down the start-finish straight we go again. Christoph Raby in the slipstream of Stein Fidder. We've seen Raby braking later than Fidder here on the laps leading up to this. Saw last lap in particular, Fidder possibly braked a bit earlier than he could have done, but no opportunity for Raby just yet. Although look at Raby just keeping the pressure on through the long sweeping turns. Oh, big slide for Rob Mason there. Doesn't lose a place, however, but That's going to cost him a bit of a lap time. Here we see a replay. Just got it on the curb, and that unsettled the rear end. And that can happen quite easily sometimes. You have to be very careful at that section of track in particular. I think that's probably going to be become a recurring theme on this day of racing. Hopefully no one gets too caught out by it and goes for a spin or worse, an accident. We don't want to see anyone taking out another car there due to a big slide like that. But well held from Rob Mason. Currently running inside the points, I believe. About 11th or 12th, possibly. Now, watch Christophe Raby. That he certainly seems to be the most attacking driver on the track at this precise point in time, as he gets closer and closer to Stein Fidde. He's closer than he was last lap. Maybe not quite as close as he was 2 laps ago, but certainly keeping the pressure on as he has been race long. All he needs now is one slight mistake from Stein Fidde. It's very difficult to overtake at this Portland circuit, with only really down into this next corner that you're about to see here, and down into turn 1 or 2, the real overtaking opportunities of the lap. And even they're difficult because turn 1 isn't a slow corner. Turns 1 and 2 aren't really that slow of a chicane, and the 90-degree right-hander that you saw there isn't a slow one either. Very wide track at that part. Another possible overtaking opportunity is down into that first chicane. You just saw them going through there. Because there's a good slipstream zone before that. Trouble is there, because it's a fast chicane, there's not much of a braking zone, but they're onto a straight now, and look at Raby tucking into the slipstream of Stein Fidde. He now pulls out to the inside. Of course, if Fidde can just stay there, that'll make Raby go to the outside of turn 2, but Raby might have it before the corner's over. There's contact! Slight contact between the two of them. Raby gets tipped sideways, gets it going again behind Fidde and behind Hodgkinson, and side by side now with Rob Mason. And look at Horrell. Horrell takes brilliant advantage of that, and that's a really good move from Ben Horrell through turn 4 as we go into another replay. Oh, you can see from that Christophe Raby just had absolutely no say in whether he was going round or not, because he was. You can see, Fidde possibly just misjudged the length of his car. You can see from that shot we just saw there. It's very easy to misjudge how long your bonnet actually is. You can't see the right to the front of it, and of course then you have the fact that this is just a simulator and not complete reality, so there might be some slight extensions in the hitbox. Now you see Christophe Raby getting to the outside of David Franchik as we head down towards the first final chicane. Ben Horrell rather, not David Franchik. And he's going to get to the... Oh, he's going to go off on the grass, actually. Contact! Oh, dear. You can see that as he got onto the grass there was just no stopping the car. Of course, friction highly reduced when you get onto the grass, and unfortunately Ben Horrell got taken off in that too. Here we see a replay from onboard Raby, who just tries to leave his braking slightly late, gets onto the grass, then there's just no stopping it. And into the wall he goes. That's going to damage the rear suspension, surely, possibly the front suspension as well. And here on board with Ben Horrell, you're just going to feel a thwack. There it is, as Christophe Raby comes back across again, and unfortunately Ben Horrell gets completely. Well, he's completely the innocent party in that. Here you see the top end of the top 5. They're actually catching Joshua Jones now, so Jones about to be lapped after his various incidents and accidents earlier in this race. He's had a spin, a collision that wasn't his fault, and another spin. And has he had a third spin? Oh, well, it wasn't quite a spin, but he's had a big off. He's going to use the escape road to get back on again. But that's probably why he's dropped back into the clutches of the chasing pack, because he's just had a big off in the penultimate corner. So a shame for him. That's the fourth little incident we've seen him involved in this race so far. So not the ideal race for him. The two Rowan GP guys have possibly done the most practice out of any drivers here, doing roughly 100 laps each just the day before, or it was a couple of days before this this event. But obviously Joshua Jones just not quite having the ideal race here, and of course Fabian Ruder is out after his roll earlier in this race. Jones hasn't quite been lapped yet, but I think he'll probably be blue flagged before long. So hopefully he gets out of the way of Adam Taylor without holding him up too much. Here you see the second place battle continue between Lewis McGlade and Matt Richards. Richards hasn't had a chance yet to properly attack Lewis McGlade, and McGlade doing a very good job to stop him from doing that, because let's face it, Matt Richards is a very, very quick driver and not an easy one to keep behind. But we are on the final lap of the race now, so there will probably not be another opportunity for Lewis McGlade for Matt Richards to have a go at Lewis McGlade. Round the final corner we come now, and across the line in the lead of the race is going to come Adam Taylor, who wins for Vodball. Second place is going to be Lewis McGlade. Third is Joshua Jones. Only joking, it's Matt Richards. Jones is a lap down. Fourth across the line is going to be Jeffrey Fournier, who is going to finish ahead of his BMW teammate Chris Shepherd, who is going to weave his way across the line now. Sixth place is going to go to Matt Clipp in the Cosmo Sport Car. Then it's Fidder, Hodgkinson, Mason, Willis, and Horrell. Of course, we saw Morby crossing the line, but Morby is a lap down. Then it's going to be Christoph Raby and Matt Allington. And he is going to be followed across the line by Stefan McCready, who crosses the line there. Mark Wicks is going to cross the line after that bunch. And he will also take the final points position in this race. So Mark Wicks crosses the line despite a roll earlier in this race to score 1 point. So not a bad recovery. Still slightly disappointing for him, because he knows that if he hadn't rolled, he might have finished higher up the order. And then, of course, we saw Morby crossing the line after that. Well, he was behind. So it was Jones 16th, Morby 17th, and then we had a DNF in Fabian Ruder. Anyway, on to race 2. So, Matt Richards scored 16 points for a third place in that race. He needs to score 32 more. 31 wouldn't quite be enough, although that would bring him to 150 points behind because of Rudy Van Buren's immense win total. 9 wins to Matt Richards' 1, and Matt Richards' possible 6 now. So Richards wouldn't beat Van Buren on countback even if they scored the same number of points, but he would still have the championship open after this round if he was to score 32 more points in this race weekend. And of course, that's not entirely impossible because he's already scored 16. So if he does the same again, so if he finishes third again in races 2 and 3, he will keep the championship alive. Anyway, the grid for this next race starts with Adam Taylor on pole position. This, of course, being the finishing positions of the last race. And it's McGlade, Matt Richards, Jeffrey Fournier on the second row, followed by Chris Shepherd on the third, followed by Matt Clipp. Stein Fidder, this is the fourth row of the grid. Adam Hodgkinson. Fifth row is Rob Mason and Ben Willis. Sixth row, Ben Horrell alongside Christoph Raby. Then it's Matt Allington and Stefan McCready. Mark Wicks and Joshua Jones, followed by Philip Morby and Fabian Ruder. And bringing up the field are 2 new cars for this race, Wesley Stefano and David Franchik, who did not turn up for race 1, but are taking part in race 2. So we have a field of 20 cars for race 2, which is, of course, 2 cars more than we had in race 1. Still, it's 15 points for a 15th position for a point. But whatever the case, that that is the field, and David Franchik will bring it up. So when he's in position, and we see the lights begin to come on, he's going to line up just behind Fabian Ruder, who's directly ahead of him, and Wesley Stefano, who's ahead of him in the order. And the lights are going to come on now with 3, 4, 5. And we're underway. Can Adam Taylor make it 2 out of 2 this weekend? Can Matt Richards keep the championship alive? Lewis McGlade gets a bad start, and Richards is up the inside into second. So, Richards goes to second, and he might stick his nose in for first. They're side by side for the lead. Not quite. Yes, it looks like Adam Taylor's got through in the lead, although Shepherd and Fournier are side by side for third position. Shepherd's going to have the inside line on his Cadona teammate, and Shepherd keeps third position there at the back of the field. Everyone has made it through cleanly at this second race start. Slight kick of oversteer there from our race leader Adam Taylor, but it is Taylor, Richards, Shepherd, Fournier who's in 5th position. It's Lewis McGlade still after that bad start. So McGlade goes from 2nd to 5th in one poor start, and I'm afraid that that's going to give him a lot more work to do later on in this race to keep in contention. Anyway, as we head down the long back straight, Matt Richards is possibly going to come under attack from Chris Shepherd towards the start of the next lap, because Shepherd is going to have his slipstream. Of course, these two cars cut very similar holes through the air because they are the same model of car. So that's going to give Shepherd an ideal slipstream as they head down towards turn 1 here. And Richards himself will get a slight tow, or actually possibly a big tow from Adam Taylor ahead of him. Top 5 now beginning to pull away from the pack behind them, and look at the battle for 7th between Rob Mason and we're watching Christoph Raby and Philip Morby as David Franchik gets a mega run on them, and they're going to go 3 wide down towards turn 4. That could have all come together, but luckily it didn't. So they're all cleanly through there ahead of the 2 Rowan GP cars, but Morby and Raby are still side by side there, and also the 2 YTF1 cars were side by side too. And look at Joshua Jones now, actually having a look at Christoph Raby. He might come under attack from his own teammate here, Fabian Ruder, and they might go 3 wide as well towards the end of this straight. It looked like they were going to into that corner, but the 2 Rowan GPs side by side, as are Franchik and Morby heading down the back straight. Franchik and Morby towards the first chicane. Who's going to give way? It's a battle of the bravest here, and it will go to Philip Morby. So Franchik has to back off slightly, and very wisely too, because otherwise he might not have got it turned in for one of the 2 corners. Here is the back of the field now being brought up by Stefan McCready. But look at the leaders, they're getting much closer. Replay of, is that Mark Wicks getting it all wrong? It's either Mark Wicks or Rob Mason in the Kernau Sport Car getting it all wrong going down towards the first chicane. Also going off there is Stefan McCready. So McCready losing it here. He actually had to dodge really rather rapidly to avoid Joshua Jones's car. So McCready possibly missing his braking point slightly and having to dodge to avoid Joshua Jones's car there. I appreciate that. As we head on to another lap, and Matt Richards is much closer to Adam Taylor than he has been in this race. In fact, the top 4 are all right together here, with Fournier and Shepherd. In fact, Shepherd is going to look to the outside of Richards, who makes a slight error in trying to pass Adam Taylor through turn 4, and Richards is... they're all going to pack up together there in an accordion effect down... Shepherd over the grass. If it is still Shepherd in 3rd place, it is indeed. Shepherd puts 2 wheels slightly over the grass there, and that's going to lose him some momentum, and possibly dropping back towards his teammate Jeffrey Fournier as we head down towards the first chicane for another time of asking. And through the final corner now, who's going to get the slipstream this time on the back straight? on the pit straight rather. It looks as if the 2 Godano cars are going to slipstream Matt Richards heading down towards turn 1. Of course, Fournier will have the double slipstream this time, and in fact that 3rd place battle certainly seems to be the closest. of course, also probably the most gentlemanly as well, because of course they are teammates. They don't want to take each other out. Also, we've got a bit of battling down there in the back of the shot. That looked as if it was for the bottom end of the top 10. Whoa, contact! Adam Hodgkinson gets tipped into a spin by Ben Horrell. So Horrell and Hodgkinson come together. Horrell, lucky that Hodgkinson didn't ping back round into him. Here we sit on board with Hodgkinson. Oh, he's just going to get turned around. Now, did he move over on Horrell, or did Horrell move over on him? That's the question. We're seeing it on board now with Horrell, who goes up on two wheels, does a very good job of saving it. But of course, that's why Hodgkinson and Clip got the run on him, and it looks possibly as if they just wafted into each other. I'm not entirely sure on who to blame there. Also, what are we seeing here? This will be... Whoa! Big lag spike. Oh, and the two Rowan GP cars swap places. Well, that was weird. I mean, Joshua Jones was quite obviously ahead of Fabian Ruder as they went through turn 4. Then there was a massive lag spike, and now he's behind him. So possibly Joshua Jones just kind of glitching a bit and being put behind Fabian Ruder in that, as we seem to have lost Wesley Stefano from this race, unfortunately. So that's the first casualty. Are we going to see how that happened now? Is he just going to outbrake himself? Yes, he is, and into the wall, thud. Oh, very lucky not to get collected by one of the Kernow cars there. So here we see it on board with him. Yeah, he just missed his braking zone. Of course, we saw him missing race 1, so it might be that he just hasn't had the required practice and he doesn't really know his way around the course yet. But whatever the case, Wesley Stefano out of the race, and that is our first retirement. Now, at the front of the order, the top 4 are closing in again, possibly as a result of the slipstream down the back straight. And there you saw Shepherd pulling back into position after taking a slight look at Richards, who is actually taking quite a few looks at Adam Taylor here. He's right under the gearbox, and will he try to launch a move down here into the next braking zone? This is a 90-degree right-hander. No, he's not going to be close enough, so Adam Taylor keeps his lead for now, and Richards possibly getting bunched up on the exit now with Chris Shepherd. So watch Richards as he gets back in the slipstream of Adam Taylor's car, and Fournier actually taking a look at Shepherd as well. But it's all about the leaders now, as Richards is going to pull out of the slipstream, have the inside line, but it's going to be Taylor who breaks later down into the first chicane, and Taylor keeps the lead for now. Richards just had a slight look, and now he's had a slight kick of oversteer as well. And this, actually, he's still got quite a good run on Adam Taylor down the back straight here. And who will take advantage of this? Is Richards going to pull to the inside? He is indeed. This is for the lead of the race. There's a lock-up, and Richards is going to take a big slide, and he's going to lose a place to Chris Shepherd as well. And Shepherd is now taking an overlap. Shepherd overlapping with Adam Taylor, and look at Fournier. They might go 3 wide here down into turn 4. I can barely keep up. Oh my goodness. As Taylor leads from Shepherd, Fournier and Richards. Richards definitely losing out in that one. There you see him just having a big slide through turn 1, and he drops down to 4th position there. There you see it from on board. Just loses all of his momentum there, and through go Chris Shepherd and Jeffrey Fournier. So he went in hoping for a place, lost 2 of them, unfortunately for Matt Richards, and that could actually have a bearing on his title effort, because of course he needs 32 more points. At this rate, with 4th position, he'd score 13 points in this race, and with 1 more to go, that would leave him wanting 19 more points, and he'd need a win. No, he'd need 2nd for that. But still, with the reverse grid also coming into play, that could be a seriously tough ask for Matt Richards. Meanwhile, we've seen Ben Horrell and Philip Morby going at it. There's more contact, and again Ben Horrell loses his front bumper, just as we saw in race 1. And again, it was... Actually, I don't think it was with Adam Hodgkinson in race 1, wasn't it? This time it was with Philip Morby in exactly the same spot on the track, with a very similarly sized impact as well. There you saw Morby just getting big kick of oversteer and then walloped in the side. Meanwhile, there are Horrell. Actually, was it Franchik? It was Horrell. So Franchik has actually moved ahead of Horrell now. We're about to see a replay of something or other. This is Joshua Jones getting a big kick of oversteer. Does he get it stopped? No. Into the wall he goes. So, an accident for Joshua Jones. We're on board with him now. It's just there as he tags the curb. That's a very unfortunate one because everyone tags the curb there, but obviously it just unsettled his car unusually, and he couldn't correct it or get it stopped, and into the wall he goes, and I fear that has done some really bad suspension damage to the side of Jones's car, the left hand side. Also now, look at the battle for the lead. We've got 5 people in it now. Look at Lewis McGlade, who senses an opportunity of a good result here, and McGlade might well take a look at Matt Richards before long. Of course, that would be absolutely disastrous for Matt Richards, as you see Joshua Jones now getting going again. So he has made a pit stop to try to repair some of the damage. Of course, there's limited suspension damage that you can actually repair, but obviously he feels he can go the rest of the race on it. He's on the grass. He's hit his teammate. So Fabian Ruder, who was a whole lap ahead of Joshua Jones, has been completely sideswiped. There you see. Oh gosh. Now what happened there? Was that just Jones's suspension damage? Yes, look. As Jones brakes, the car just snaps sideways to the right hand side, and there's no stopping it once he's on the grass. Unfortunately, that's all down to the suspension damage. So obviously he thought that more of it had been repaired than it actually was. He probably shouldn't have actually tried to get it going again after his pit stop, but that's very unfortunate for Jones and Ruder. Meanwhile, this is for the lead. Shepherd pulls to the outside of Adam Taylor and very nearly goes past him, but of course there's no overtaking down into that section of the track unless you have a big error from the car ahead. Here you see it from on board Chris Shepherd as he goes to the outside of Adam Taylor down into the final section of the course, and has to slot in behind him there. Also, you see that Joshua Jones is now officially out of the race. He's back in his garage, so unfortunately that's our second retirement of this race. Jones's first retirement in 5 races. He would have wanted to have gone longer than that, but still an okay start to his ITC career. Still hasn't scored a point yet. Anyway, here are the top 4 or 5 again. McGlade possibly dropping back for a bit. He's just waiting his moment, biding his time. And will Chris Shepherd go for a dive here into the right-hander? Not this time round. Although onto the back straight. This is where we've seen Shepherd is fast. Of course, he got the slipstream of Adam Taylor's car perfectly last time and pulled alongside him. And will he do the same again? This could be a possible attack for the lead. He is going to take a look at him. That's a look to the inside this time, but he's not close enough. Doesn't even overlap. That was just a kind of I'm in your mirrors, mate kind of thing. But slots in behind Adam Taylor. For now, anyway. He won't want to stay there for long. Certainly not for the full race distance. Here you see Chris Shepherd back in the slipstream. Will he poke to the inside this time round? Yes, he will. Shepherd goes to the inside of Adam Taylor, locks up again. And are they going to all make it through? They are indeed, with Taylor still in the lead. But how long will that last for? Because Shepherd's now on the outside. As they head in down towards turn 4, Shepherd is going to go round the outside of Adam Taylor. That might also give Fournier a chance of second place here on his own teammate. But Taylor keeps the lead for now, and Shepherd keeps second for now. This racing does not get much better. That's fantastic. Somehow, despite the lockup, they don't come together down into turn 1 there. Shepherd gets the switch back, hopes he can get through around the outside of the small kink at turn 3 there. It doesn't quite pay off there. But anyway, it actually looked almost like he had a clean track there as they headed through turn 4. But unfortunately for Shepherd, Taylor was still on his inside line. Now Shepherd, you can see by the body language of his car, he's getting very, very feisty here. Will he outbrake Taylor? No, we've seen from that part of the circuit, outbraking someone there is very difficult. Watch Matt Richards actually took a look there to the inside of Jeffrey Fournier. And if that had pulled off, that would have been a move in a place we haven't seen yet. And Lewis McGlade is right back on the back of this group again. And Shepherd's going back to the inside of Adam Taylor down into turn 1. He's not close enough. Again, locks up. Has to be careful of that. You don't want your tyres to go off. Some of the drivers here run very, very low tyre pressures. So they have to be careful not to completely take all the life out of their tyres. As we see them coming around the back end of the circuit. Now, this might be an overtaking opportunity here for Chris Shepherd down towards the right-hander. Also, Matt Richards took a little look. Oh, Taylor actually backing up Chris Shepherd around there. Possibly going defensive rather than trying to pull away. But that has allowed Shepherd to get right on his rear end. And in fact, Shepherd is going to look to the inside of this kind of sweeping straight that isn't straight. He's going to be alongside him down towards this penultimate chicane of the circuit again. Or the final chicane leading into the penultimate corner, rather. But, of course, still no move there. Very, very difficult to pull a move there. And, well, Shepherd must be getting frustrated by now. Lap after lap he's tried it. And he still has not been able to make a move. He's going to the inside again. We've seen this every single lap down into turn 1. And again, it doesn't work. Not a single move for Chris Shepherd has worked yet. And he's been behind Adam Taylor for so long. The entire race, pretty much. Of course, he was behind Matt Richards earlier on before Richards made that mistake. Trying to get past Taylor. And Taylor is doing an absolutely stellar job here. Driving the widest car on the circuit. And of course, Fournier's job in this will be just to try and stop Matt Richards from getting at him or his teammate. Shepherd's going to look to the inside of Matt Taylor through the right-hander there, although no move there. And look at the BMWs. The BMWs are going possibly to go 3 wide here, down towards the back end of the circuit. Richards is going to drag his way right around the outside of Fournier. Will he get both of them here? He's going to have the inside line. Will Matt Richards go up into second place? No, he won't. Not there. Oh dear, as Chris Shepherd goes very, very wide. And Richards is up to second. Matt Richards up into second place there. Gets a fantastic run on both of the Godona Racing Engineering cars. And, well, here you see it on board with Adam Taylor. You can see it all happening in his mirrors. As Shepherd actually did tag Adam Taylor there. And, oh, just got over the curb. And that's what catalysed it all. That's what caused him to drop back towards Jeffrey Fournier and Matt Richards. And possibly that's what caused the 2 Godona engineering cars, Godona racing cars rather, to lose places to Matt Richards. And there you see it. That's where Shepherd just gets over the curb on the outside, and that has allowed Matt Richards to go through. Slight contact there as well for Chris Shepherd. Well, that's the contact you saw earlier between him and Taylor. And here you see it on board with Fournier as he just gets swamped. Nothing he really could have done about that. And Matt Richards gets them both. So, disastrous time there for Godona Racing. Brilliant for Matt Richards, who is going to score 20 points in this race if he finishes where he is now. And if he does finish where he is now, then well, here you see it on board with Matt Richards as well. But this is just an absolute masterclass of overtaking here. But if Matt Richards does score 20 points for second in this race, he will only need 12 points, and he'll get 13 for fourth in race 3. Of course, we don't know where he'd be starting with the reverse grid draw, but that would certainly increase his chances. He needs to score well in all 3 races here to keep the championship alive. To Rudy Van Buren. Here you see the BMWs going side by side again. down into turn 1 this time, and Shepherd's going to go to the inside of Matt Richards. He's going to have the outside for turn 2. There's contact. Richards goes up on 2 wheels, and look at Jeffrey Fournier, who's going to drag his way around the outside of his teammate, but he is going to have the outside line down into turn 4. Which of the 2 Cadona cars is ahead? I don't know, but whoever it is, they're ahead of Matt Richards now. So Richards, oh, it's Shepherd. So Shepherd up into 2nd place, ahead of Richards, who drops back to 3rd. Big slide from Steinfeder. Here you see it from on board Matt Richards' car as he goes over the curb on 2 wheels, loses out to Chris Shepherd. And Shepherd, you're going to see poke through on the inside line now. To be honest, Richards probably braked slightly early there. He could possibly have kept 2nd place, but that isn't what happened, and it's a great move from Chris Shepherd. Of course, there was contact at the start of that. We're about to see that here at turn 2 as Shepherd forces Matt Richards to go up onto 2 wheels and then just gets clobbered in the side. But Shepherd does indeed keep his nose to the inside. To be honest, Richards, even if he had braked slightly later there, he probably, well, he wouldn't have been able to have turned in anyway, because Chris Shepherd was on his inside. Here we see Jeffrey Fournier, and, well, Fournier might well have sniffed an opportunity to get past Matt Richards here, but you can see there just wasn't enough room on the track there. And of course he's completely boxed in there. You saw he had to lift off and brake there to avoid going into the back of Richards or into the side of his teammate. And oh, and there's the big slide from Steinfeder. Did a very good job to hold that. Of course, Fidder having one of his best weekends, or race events rather. Oh, as Matt Richards again puts 2 wheels into the grass. We saw that him doing that in race 1 as well. And this could actually give Jeffrey Fournier a chance of sniffing 3rd place as we head down towards the first chicane. No, he's not going to be close enough this time round, but if that had been any more dramatic, then Richards could have lost another place there, and that would really have been dramatic for his championship hopes. As round the final corner we go again. Now, slipstreaming opportunity as we head down the start-finish straight towards turns 1 and 2. I also see one of the Zederic cars in the pits and out, seeing as he still had his front bumper. I believe that was David Franchek. So unfortunately, as Shepherd goes over the grass. So Shepherd goes slightly wide at turn 2 there and dips all 4 wheels into the grass. And he's going to lose out to Matt Richards, is he? He does indeed. So Matt Richards back up to 2nd place. And this could really put his championship back on track again. But Matt Richards is up to 2nd place ahead of Chris Shepherd. Here we see it on board with Matt Richards as Shepherd gets very, very wiggly into the corner and then doesn't get it stopped out of the corner and just gets over the grass. In fact, he did a very good job of actually not stuffing it into the wall, because you saw how close on that replay he got to actually hitting the wall. Yeah, there's just no stopping it at that point, and whoa! Snaps round. And to be honest, if that was me in his situation, I probably would have stuffed it into the wall, nose first. So did a very good job not to do that. Here we sit on board with Jeffrey Fournier as Shepherd gets very, very wiggly and almost loses out to both of them actually, as Fournier gets around the outside, but Fournier of course lets his teammate go. Shepherd, I believe, is the higher placed of the 2 Godona cars in the championship standings. He is indeed. He's 3rd to Fournier's 6th. As we head down towards the final chicane again. And Fournier actually had a slight look at Shepherd there that time round, but probably not going for a proper move, seeing as we haven't really seen the Godona cars racing each other yet this season. They're very similar in terms of pace, but Fournier always seems quite content to just sit behind Shepherd, as Shepherd is now going to pull out of the slipstream of Richards again. He's going to have the outside, but that'll turn into the inside if he can keep it round the outside. He does indeed, and Shepherd, that's a textbook overtake. Absolutely brilliant. Watch this again as we go on board with Chris Shepherd around the outside of Matt Richards. And Richards just isn't there. That's fantastic from Chris Shepherd, who moves back up into 2nd place. This is completely unpredictable. We're probably heading towards the the final or the final lap of the race very shortly. But still a little while to go yet. As, off in the background, there goes Rob Mason. Mason was running in 6th position there and is still running in 6th position, but closer to 7th than he was before. Here we see it again. He's just misjudged his braking, hasn't he? He's just misjudged his braking, gone wide into turn 4, the multi-apex turn 4, and he's just slithered off the circuit. And Stein Fidder is looking very aggressive in his mirrors, so he'll have to watch out for Stein. There is another battle going on further down the order. This is Matt Allington versus Christopher Raby. Allington has it for now with a slight contact, and he gets tipped sideways, but keeps the position. We'll see a replay of that now. As there you see him just getting tipped sideways slightly. I'm actually wondering whether there was contact. I'm not entirely sure that there was. Anyway, Allington's still ahead of Raby for now, but Raby gets the switch back, and he might well get under him here. As we see, that's Stefan McCready on replay, just, lagging out. So, unfortunately, we've lost another car, but through lag issues. Here is Ben Horrell. I believe the Zederik car, judging by the fact we're seeing Horrell on replay now, might have been the retirement. Yeah. So Horrell gets tipped into spin. Actually gets it going again. This is, Philip Morby. So Morby tags him there. And then, as Horrell spins back across Morby's nose, he just gets hit by Morby again. To be honest, actually, as you saw, Horrell did make a slight mistake. Actually, Morby probably didn't expect Horrell to come back across like that. Now, Horrell there will argue that Morby triggered that all by hitting him up the rear. Fabian Ruder into Horrell as well. And was that what did the damage to Horrell? Horrell's pitting now, and Fabian Ruder very nearly doesn't see him and almost goes into the back of him. Gets held up a bit there, going into the pits. Looks as if Ruder just misjudged his braking there. And then Horrell gets accidental payback by almost crowding Ruder into the pits. But those three were fighting closely after Horrell's incident earlier on. There you see Matt Allington getting a bit of a slide on, and contact. Actually, was that Ben Willis? Yeah, it's Ben Willis there, who gets slightly swiped as a result of the Ruder and Horrell incident. There you see it. It was just that Ruder misjudged his braking slightly. Thought that Horrell was going to be going slightly faster than he actually was. In terms of the Horrell Morby accident, though, never mind. We're going side by side down into turn 1 again, and Richards is going to have the outside, which is going to turn into the inside if he can hold it there. I don't think he can hold it there. Shepherd covers the line nicely, and now Jeffrey Fournier might well have a go at Matt Richards again around the outside. Not quite, but anyway, here we see a replay of it from on board Chris Shepherd. Richards will be on his outside line there, and this is Matt Richards' view of what he saw. We saw the slight flash of Richards' bonnet on Shepherd's replay, but there goes Shepherd ahead of Matt Richards, and Jeffrey Fournier would have seen it all unfolding ahead of him, praying that his teammate doesn't get taken out, and also praying that he can get a move done on Matt Richards. However, Richards just managed to keep the inside line there and get back ahead as we head down towards the 90-degree right-hander. Slight lock-up from Chris Shepherd, and that might allow Matt Richards to get into his slipstream again down towards the fast chicane. Also, Fidder is getting very close to Mason for 6th position. But this is the final lap and the final sector as we watch Adam Taylor heading down through the final corner now. Slight lock-up, but it's going to be fine as he exits the final corner, avoids the wall, and Adam Taylor is going to win 2 out of 2 so far. Also, watch the battle in the background as Adam Taylor crosses the line and wins. But look at that. It's going to be Shepherd from Richards, from Fournier, from McGlade. You couldn't fit paper between some of those cars. Then it's Rob Mason in 6th, just from Steinfeder. These two are going to be close as well. But it's going to be Matt Clipp in 8th, followed by David Franchik. Good result from Franchik, who didn't actually do race 1 and then started from 20th. And then it's Willis, Morby, Hodgkinson. Now it's going to be Fabian Ruder finishing 13th and scoring some points for Rowan in the GPVWC. So good result there from Fabian Ruder, scoring his first Formula Challenge points as well, just a few days after this was recorded. Philip Raby now crossing the line in 14th and 15th, and the final point is going to go to Mark Wicks ahead of Matthew Allington, and then the retirements: Ben Horrell, Stefan McCready, Joshua Jones and Wesley Stefano. Now for race 3. My goodness me, I should have done some voice warm-ups before that or something like that, because I'm completely shattered. Still, one race to go in this event here. One round to go after this, although the championship could be claimed in this next race if Matt Richards does not finish 4th. Now, the reverse grid has been drawn as 11, putting Philip Morby on pole, meaning that Matt Richards will be starting from 8th position. He needs to finish 4th to keep the championship alive, so he's got a bit of racing to do, but he's a quick driver, and the cars starting ahead of him are ones that actually finished below him in the last race. So it's entirely possible that Matt Richards can keep the championship alive in this race, but he will need to work for it. Certainly, he's not going to be handed it. It's not going to be handed to him on a plate. He doesn't just need to hold position; he needs to make up positions. And it's raining, so Philip Morby starts on pole on the wet tyres, followed by Willis and Franchik, Clipp, Fidder, Mason, McGlade, Fournier, Richards, Shepherd, Taylor, Hodgkinson, Ruder, Raby, Wicks, Allington, Horrell, McCready and Jones. Now, you'll notice that there's actually a split strategy in this race, because it is raining, but really not much, and it's not really... You can see from on board the car here, there's not really that much standing water at all. So, some drivers are going for wet tyres, just in case it starts raining harder, or for longer. And other drivers are hoping for it to clean up and going for the dry tyre. As you can see, Stefan McCready is on dry tyres up ahead of Joshua Jones here. In fact, Jones has to go back into position there slightly, but he's into position now. The dry tyres are the yellow ones, the wet tyres are the white ones. And it's go! So, we're off, and it's a good start from Philip Morby, and it's also a good start from David Franchik, who's going to get up the inside of Ben Willis here for 2nd position, and Franchik's done it. So, it's Morby followed by Franchik, big slide from Rob Mason, and there's contact with Matt Richards! Richards drops down through the order, back past Lewis McGlade, and there's contact in the background. Off has gone Adam Hodgkinson, and Fabian Ruder was moving slowly as well. So, that is a big shame for Adam Hodgkinson, who's going to have to make up those positions again. But up the front, it is Philip Morby, followed by David Franchik and Ben Willis. Those are the top 3 so far. Then it's Matt Clipp, and who's behind Matt Clipp? It's going to be Rob Mason. So those are the top 5. And where is Matt Richards? 5, 6, 7, 8. He's 8. So he's 8th. He needs to make up 4 positions to keep the championship alive. And in conditions such as this, that's difficult. You can see that Franchik in 2nd is actually on the dry tyre. So for him, he needs it to dry up. And if Morby wants an ideal race, he needs it to get wetter, because that will release himself from Franchik, who is on his tail. And Franchik will probably be trying to get past Morby, or... Well, he'll probably need to get past Morby right now, because if he doesn't, then... Or as soon as possible, rather. If he... if he doesn't get through and it does start raining harder, he's going to drop back. But if it does start raining and he's already through, he might try to defend. Here we see an onboard of Adam Hodgkinson. Really, he just got completely caught up in the midfield, and there's cars getting squeezed. I believe that was Christoph Raby. No, it wasn't. It was someone else. But yeah, you can see. Oh, that's what happened to Fabian Ruder as he gets pummeled from all sides. Yeah, and unfortunately, there was really nothing that anyone could have done about that. Actually, it was Christoph Raby getting involved in the mid-pack incident there. So Raby. Completely innocent there. To be honest, everyone in that was almost completely innocent, because it was all very start line-ish, and it's very difficult to avoid that. There you see Rob Mason getting passed by Lewis McGlade. That was for 5th position. So McGlade up into 5th position now, and that's a move quite high up in the order. Actually, as McGlade has a big slide. Actually, what tyres is he on? He's on the wet tyres. So I wonder if it's possibly getting a bit drier, if the rate of evaporation is overtaking the rate of precipitation. It doesn't look like it is, because you can see the rain falling. For the drivers, it's actually very difficult to see how much how wet the track is, because in this simulator you can't actually see the rain falling. You can see the spray, but you can't see the rainfall. So it's all about kind of feeling the car underneath you as Fidder and Mason battle. This is over 6th position now. They're both on the slick tyre, wet tyres rather. Fournier and Shepherd have gone for very different strategies, because Shepherd is on the dry tyre. Oh, hold on, as Fidder and Mason go side by side again for 6th place. Fidder's going to have the inside line, and through he goes. But as I was saying, the two Godona cars on different strategies, with Shepherd on the slick tyre. Anyway, as Mason goes back to the inside of Fidder, he's going to get the place back, is he? No, Fidder's going to hold it on the inside, but he's going to get right up on the curb. I thought he was going to roll it over, and a great move now from Geoffrey Fournier, and he's possibly going to get past both of them. Is he going to get past Fidder as well? Fidder's going to keep it to the inside line, and also side by side up ahead. This is for 4th position between McGlade and Clip, and McGlade has passed Clip for 4th. So that's changed there, and here we see a replay on board with Geoffrey Fournier, as he's going to make a very opportunistic move when he sees the two cars ahead of him coming together. And actually big slide from Geoffrey Fournier there, but you see what I mean from this shot about how the drivers can't see the rain falling from inside their cars. They just have to judge how bad the weather is from what they can feel, rather than what they can see. And I mean, sounds simple, but it's often easier said than done. And here you see it on board with Stein Fidder, as he goes right up under 2 wheels. He was actually very lucky that Rob Mason was there, because otherwise he might have rolled it over. So luckily Rob Mason stops him from going over. There is Matt Richards now battling with Christoph Raby, gets a bit of a swap on, and actually drops back now from Adam Taylor. So as Taylor goes to the inside of Mason and gets through. So Richards not gaining the positions like he would hope to be. I believe he's actually in 9th position now, so he's dropped a position here. And if he wants to keep the championship alive, he needs to gain a position. So, and in fact, that won't help if Chris Shepherd gets through. So Shepherd not quite there. As Mason goes wide. I thought he was going to swap ends and hit Matt Richards there, but luckily that didn't happen. We just saw that then. Now I know there's 2 cars side by side by him, but the real important bit here is Richards, and as Richards pokes to the inside of Mason, is he going to make that stick? Yes, he does. So that's a move for Matt Richards, which puts him up into 8th position now, I think. So that's vital for Matt Richards. Although he's still not quite in championship keeping alive position. He's in 8th. He needs 4th. As Ben Horrell. So Ben Horrell has pulled off the road and has given up. So maybe he just needed to be somewhere else or something like that. But whatever the case, Ben Horrell is out. And we've seen Ben Willis now losing a place. That's for 3rd. So that's Lewis McGlade getting past Ben Willis into third position. So Willis loses that position. Here we see it on board with Ben as he just overshoots it going into turn 1. That sets him up badly for turn 2, and through goes Lewis McGlade. You're going to see him going around the outside there. Indeed, he goes through, and Willis does a good job not to run into the back of him. Running into the back, Geoffrey Fournier just ran into the back of Ben Willis. So, so 2 people coming together for the last podium spot there. Willis on dry tyres, Fournier on wet tyres. And it looks as if the wet tyres are just about becoming the right tyre to be on now, as Willis is backing up the field behind him. There you see it on board with Ben Willis as he just gets tagged there by Chris Shepherd. Luckily, didn't turn him round. That's just touring cars up until that point, really, because touring cars is all about bumping and banging at Willis. Willis has slowed. It looks as if he just got 2 wheels on the grass and was forced to slow down to avoid going into the wall there, and that means Willis has lost not only 3rd but 4th and 5th as well, and he's going to lose 6th now as Fidder goes up to 4th. Fidder goes up to 4th past Matt Clip. Here you see it on board with Willis as he gets a big swap on. Goes over the grass, through goes Shepherd, Clip, and Fidder. And now that is Ruder. Oh, going straight on. So Fabian Ruder attacked Hodgkinson, and now he's gone straight on and has almost been run into by Stefan McCready. But McCready gets that position back. There is Mark Wicks running at the back of the order. Actually, this is Fabian Ruder. So, as Ruder spins. So, oh dear. Well, it looks as if the person who went wide battling with Hodgkinson and McCready was actually Joshua Jones, the Rowan GP teammate, as there you see Ruder spin again, just overcooking it through turn 1. Ruder was actually has actually been having some quite bad issues with his wet tyres off camera, because you can see now it's actually stopped raining. So the rain has stopped for now. And if the track can dry up, big slide from Matt Richards. Richards goes round at the penultimate corner. How many positions is he going to lose here? He's going to lose 1, 2. Will he lose a 3rd? He was up into 6th position there. He does lose a 3rd. So, past... he was up into... Yeah, that's... I don't know what position... Okay, so that's 3rd, 4th... Yeah, 6th. So, he was up into 6th position, then just got a swap on through the penultimate corner, loses 3 positions, and that's disastrous for his championship challenge. He's now down into 9th position, and Ben Willis goes straight on. So Ben Willis goes straight on at the first corner, and he's going to have to severely back off to avoid getting a penalty here. He loses many positions, including one to his teammate Matt Allington there, down to about 12th position. So big shame there for Ben Willis. And into the pits now comes Fabian Ruder. And what has this been? This is down at the... Oh, wow. Big swap as Ruder's car, well, just over rotates on the first apex. That shows all the signs of a car not set up for wet weather racing, I'm afraid. Anyway, here we see second place and 3rd place going through the shot. Off in the background as well went Christopher Raby. So Raby running slightly wide, and he's going to come under attack here from Chris Shepherd. And will Matt Richards also be able to get past him? Richards looking to the outside of Shepherd now, but it looks like these 3 are going to stay in that order. Matt Richards rather, gets another swap on going through the... and Raby's off. So Raby gets over the grass and goes slightly wide. Here we see it again. Off he goes, but gets it going again without any issues, luckily for him. As we head down now towards turn 1, he's looking back to the inside of Chris Shepherd. Shepherd, very good at that part of the circuit though, keeps the position. Now it's very difficult to see what tyres they're on. I think Shepherd might be on the dry tyre, so this could be a sign of the dry tyre coming back into play now, as it has dried up. I think Shepard's on the dry tyre from what I just saw. You can still see the spray being kicked up behind the cars, so obviously the track is not completely dry, but the sky's cleared and it stopped raining. And if it stays like this for the rest of the race, that would severely hamper the cars on wet tyres, including our race leader, Philip Morby. And it would severely help, or completely help, the guys on dry tyres, like one of our championship protagonists, Matt Richards. Now, as we head through the penultimate chicane for another time, you still see the spray. You actually very clearly see the spray here. Possibly still wet around that part of the circuit. Well, it's still damp around most of it. Now, who will get the slipstream down into turn 1? Also, I believe that Fabian Ruder is out of completely out of the race now. As Raby... Oh, contact! Raby looked to the inside of Chris Shepherd, locked up, and they made contact through turn 1. And unfortunately, that looked very much just like Christopher Raby's fault. It looks as if all the temperature is being taken out or being put into. So his tyres are overheating, rather. His wet tyres as the track dries up, and that lockup was just completely caused, I'd say, by just being too eager and not knowing quite. Oh, as Fidder gets another big slide on. We've seen him doing that a couple of times this event, but hopefully Shepherd didn't lose a position in that, because he was completely innocent there. As there you see the big slide from, and this is for second now, as Franchik is having to hugely defend from Lewis McGlade as they head round the corner at the back end of the circuit, and they're going to go side by side. McGlade's going to have the inside here, so will McGlade get second place now from David Franchik? They're both on... Actually, is Franchik on dry tyres? I'm not entirely sure. It's very hard to see what's yellow and what's white. It looks to me like Franchik is on dry tyres. So we see some guys on dry tyres really benefiting now, and some guys really dropping back, like David Franchik, who's just been passed by Lewis McGlade. But if the track dries out more, will Franchik be able to come back at McGlade? It might be that Franchik has, or that Franchik's tyres have been used up by the wet weather. Of course, wet weather not good for the life of dry tyres, and dry weather not good for the life of wet tyres. So I can imagine tyre wear is definitely going to be a factor in this race. Here you see it from on board David Franchik, as you see Lewis McGlade just getting the switch back, and he's going to drag his way through. This is of course still a replay. There he goes on the right hand side, and this is the time as a driver when you really feel so helpless. And these conditions too, really tense. You don't know what the weather's going to do or how quickly it's going to dry up. Now, watch Geoffrey Fournier, who might have a go at David Franchik this time round as they head along the back straight. And will Fournier have a look at Franchik here? He's not going to quite be close enough. Of course, Franchik still has to be slightly cautious around this circuit because he's on the slick tyres and it's still slightly damp. And possibly Fournier not having to be quite so cautious, even though the slick tyre might be theoretically faster in some parts of the circuit. But Fournier now into the slipstream of Franchik again. Not close enough to pull out this time around. Locks up, in fact. Did I just see spots of rain? I think I might have just seen spots of rain down at turn 1. You can see a big grey cloud in the background, so obviously the weather might not have not be completely done with this race. Also, I saw Adam Hodgkinson recovering and passing Mark Wicks there down in the background down into turn 1. It was one of the Kernows anyway, and I believe it was Wicks. As the battle for third carries on, it's been going on for pretty much a lap now, as Fournier is going to look to the outside of Franchik. This is looking very much like a replay of the Franchik McGlade pass. In fact, it's looking very much like the Franchik McGlade pass, as Fournier almost had the inside, just like McGlade did, in exactly the same place. but he's not quite going to be able to do it this time around. Takes a look out to the inside, but that was only a speculative look there. Probably not that long left in the race now, but what will the weather do? We've seen a big cloud in the background. And will the track dry up? I don't believe I did see spots of rain last lap, because I would have expected to see more by now. It was probably just an illusion, but as we see, was that Franchik or Fournier locking up there? It could have been either of them there, but anyway, Fournier getting a good run out of turn 2. Much better than Franchik's run. Although, actually passing into turn 4 is very, very difficult. Not much of a braking zone there. It's a very fast corner. And actually pulling yourself alongside the car ahead down there is not easy. In fact, it's almost impossible most of the time. You really do need the car ahead to make a significant mistake there to get past it. Now, the top 4 are all in one shot. The top 5 were very briefly, but here is the real attention as Fournier and Franchik go at it on the back straight. Fournier is going to look possibly. No, he's not going to be close enough again. Actually dips 2 wheels onto the grass on the inside. You can tell that a driver is feeling racy when they do that, especially in a touring car. And will he get the slipstream down the back straight this time around? I'm quite surprised that the dry tyres haven't come into play yet, as I do see spits of rain this time round. So it is properly raining again. You still see the skies quite blue in some places, but there must just be a slight layer of cloud that is relieving itself on the race below. And there are some guys, as you see, on slick tyres. Of course, no one wants to make a pit stop in this. Matt Richards, in fact, is on slick tyres as well, so this could well be championship over for Matt Richards. Maybe Rudy Van Buren is watching this race and rubbing his hands with glee, but whatever the case, it's properly raining. Look at this. It's chucking it down on the back end of the circuit. It's coming down harder than it was at the start of the race. And are we about to see everything kick off? Are we about to see these two here, Shepherd and Richards, second and third in the championship in the opposite order to the way I just said it, drop back through the order again? Also, Joshua Jones is in 14th place on his way to possibly his first points of the season. However, he is also on the slick tyre. The leader, however, Philip Morby, is on wet tyres, as is second place Lewis McGlade, and this could really play into their hands. The person I'm worried about is third place David Franchik, who wasn't getting away in the dry. And now that it's raining, who knows what Geoffrey Fournier can do. Fournier is going to possibly look to the inside of turn 4, not there. Although, for now, with the track getting wetter and wetter, Franchik is just going to be a slight hindrance to Geoffrey Fournier until Fournier can get past him. If he does, Franchik needs to go very, very defensive now as we head down through the back end of the circuit. Very short circuit this Portland race is. We have 15 laps in each race. I'm not entirely sure what lap we're on now because I've lost count and I don't have a live timing indicator because it's not live, as I said earlier. But we're probably getting quite close to the end of the race here, as Fournier had a look at David Franchik there. They're now heading onto the back straight, or the pit straight rather, and will Chris Shepherd have a look at David Franchik this time around? Not there. In fact, I believe we're on the final lap now, so this might be his last chance. The last chance that he gets. Here is Stein Fidder. What's happened to him? He's going into the wall. Oh dear. Now, I hope that's only cosmetic damage. There might be slight suspension damage at the front. Oh, there is. It's actually pulling rather badly now. But look at the rain! Look at the rain! This is exactly what Matt Richards did not want to see. because Matt Richards is stuck in 9th position and it's chucking it down. He needs 4th. This is utterly dramatic, and if it stays like this, then Matt Richards will lose the championship here. Rudy Van Buren will clinch it, as we see Joshua Jones going very wide and actually clipping the wall on the exit there of the final corner. Here we see it. Jones, of course, running 14th, heading for 2 points. His first 2 points in the ITC. And it looks like he's got slight suspension damage now too, slightly pulling to the left. So a couple of people just misjudging it down at the final corner now. Possibly the final corner, the wettest part of the circuit. Jones, of course, still on dry tyres, on slick tyres rather. As the battle for third still rages. Now, is this the final lap, or are we going to get one more? I believe this might be the final lap. Oh, no, seeing as I haven't switched the camera to the leader yet, I don't think it is. As Shepard's going to get a very good run onto the back straight. Fournier, rather, is going to get a very good run onto the back straight. And he is going to challenge Franchik down into turn 1. No, he isn't. Only really 2 more opportunities to come. Well, actually, I'd say there would be, but it's chucking it down, so I don't know if Franchik is going to be able to hold on for this long. Surely it's only a matter of time before he makes some sort of mistake on those slick tyres in a very wet race. In fact, they're going side by side now through the left-hander at the back of the course. Still, Franchik doing a very, very good job of holding off Geoffrey Fournier. Fournier is going to get the switch back, and he's going to have the inside line down the straight. Is he going to get through here? I think he stands a very, very good chance, because the straight isn't very straight at all. And as we head down towards the penultimate chicane, Franchik is going to have to brake early to avoid going straight on, and Fournier does get the run around the outside and gets 3rd position. Here we see it on board with David Franchik as he has to go defensive from Geoffrey Fournier, although Fournier is just going to get massively better traction out of the 90-degree right-hander at the back end of the course, and Franchik is just going to get completely drafted past. And there goes Geoffrey Fournier. Now you see him in the mirror, but of course Franchik has to lift off to actually make the corner. Fournier actually tags Franchik slightly there on the exit of the corner with many apexes. Slight kick of oversteer too, but really there was nothing Franchik could have done to hold off Geoffrey Fournier here. And Fournier is now into the final podium position in this race. So the order still Morby, McGlade and Shepard, and all 3 of those now are on wet tyres, or all 3 of those are on wet tyres, as we head on to what I think is the final lap of the race. Then again I said that about the last 2 laps. I really don't know, sorry, I should stop saying that. But whatever the case, certainly not much time left to go in this race. Side by side further back, that's Matt Richards. Matt Richards is side by side with Adam Hodgkinson, and I believe that's Hodgkinson actually getting up into 8th position now. So Richards was running in 8th, but Hodgkinson is now up into 8th, so Richards down into 9th, and that is disastrous for Matt Richards. Great drive from Hodgkinson, actually, who had that spin earlier on in the race. But sadly for Matt Richards, he's lost another place, and that might well be his championship over. Meanwhile, however, we are on the final lap of the race, and here comes Philip Morby through the final sector. Final corner now in drenching rain. It's been a wet, dry race and a very unpredictable one, but Morby's picked the right tyre and he's led from start to finish. Adam Taylor won the first 2. Philip Morby is going to win the 3rd now. So Philip Morby wins the race, followed by Lewis McGlade. 3rd place is going to be Oh, it's not! It's not Geoffrey Fournier, it's going to be Adam Taylor who's got him. So Adam Taylor now up into third position, ahead of Fournier and Franchik. So Taylor has passed both of them. We're going to see on board with Fournier. Is he going to clip the white line? He is! He's going to go across the grass now. He's going to stop it before the wall, but Taylor is going to get past him. But of course, last time we saw that bunch, Taylor was behind David Franchik, so Taylor has got past Franchik somewhere as well. And that has been a triple podium for Adam Taylor, winning the first two races, third in the third. That is really not bad. Here we see it on board with Taylor as he thanks his lucky stars as he sees Fournier going wide, and through he goes to third position. There is Stein Fidder, but fourth position has already gone through. So, as Matt Clip and Adam Hodgkinson cross the line, there is Matt Richards. He crosses the line in 9th, and that's it. As Raby and Shepard cross the line in 10th and 11th, and Mason in 12th. Rudy Van Buren is the 2017 GPVWC ITC champion. Incredible. And he's not even here. He's not even here to witness it. Here's a battle for 14th position. So these two are both on slick tyres, but off goes Joshua Jones. Oh dear! Runs over the grass, and he's going to lose out now to Stefan McCready, who takes 14th at the very last corner. But still, that's going to be a point for Joshua Jones and his first in the GPVWC ITC. McCready crosses the line in 14th. He took that at the final corner. Jones crosses the line in 15th. Here we see it on board with Joshua Jones. Just misjudged it. Now he's going to get a bad run down through the final corner. To be honest, oh dear, look at that. He's really not putting the power down. He can't, because he's just going towards the wall. To be honest, McCready looks like he's conserved his tyres so much better than Jones has there. Jones's tyres look completely shattered. But anyway, McCready was 14th. Jones was 15th. So that shows you the importance of conserving your tyres in a race like this. Willis and Wicks were 16th and 17th. Then we had retirements in Fabian Ruder and Ben Horrell. So that was an absolutely entertaining finish to the GPVWC ITC round from Portland. Race 1 was not the most exciting of races, but race 2 and race 3 certainly did not disappoint. In fact, if I'm going to interview myself as a driver in that race as well, race 3 was one of the most tense races I've ever done. I mean, it was very difficult to pick what strategy went for, wet or dry, but I decided to go for the dry tyres simply because I hadn't actually done any wet testing at all in an ITC car, so I knew that I'd be quicker in the dry, and I wouldn't stand a chance if it was wet anyway. So I went for the slicks because I knew they were the only tyre I could actually score a point on, and I did, capitalising in the dry stages of the race and dropping back in the wet stages. But anyway, less about me and more about the important part of that race, who is, of course, Rudy Van Buren, our 2017 GPVWC ITC champion. 9 wins to his name this season, and he didn't even turn up to this round, and he probably won't turn up to the next round either, because I mean, it would have been nice to have seen him racing in this round and claiming the title himself, but of course he is doing important things with McLaren and the world's fastest gamer, and of course we do wish him luck in that. He's certainly the fastest gamer that I've ever raced against, and to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if he was the world's fastest gamer. I mean, whoever you are, if you compare his lap times to your own, his are just incredible. I mean, they're unstoppable. So it's not surprising that he's wrapped the championship up quite this early. Still 3 races to go, and he's actually missed 3 races. But yeah, Rudy Van Buren, best of luck there, and well done for the 2017 ITC championship. So that's it from Portland. We will have a live broadcast at our championship finale in Sao Paulo. I know we haven't had a live broadcast in a while, not since Zandvoort, in fact, and there have been 3 rounds since then. But for the finale, we will have a live broadcast with me as your commentator and Mike Pittman as your cameraman. So, yeah, make sure you tune in there. Goodbye.